Alright, welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Season 3 of Superman and Lois. Wow. This was another phenomenal season. I definitely enjoyed it a little bit more than Season 2, but I gotta say, what a cliffhanger. Superman versus Doomsday. And, Doomsday, of course, looks pretty decent, I will say, for, a CW show. But I cannot believe it was always on that verge of being canceled because, of course, the changes at the CW. And the thought that this would be the final scene, I just could not believe it. I would probably be a bit more angry at the CW than I was with Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman from last year. But I gotta tell you, that was a phenomenal fight with Superman and Doomsday. It really was just like on the edge of my seat. I just could not believe what I was watching. And I was really starting to think that they were gonna end this season on the death of Superman. But they left it kind of, mid-fight. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in Season 4, because of course now budget cuts, less cast members. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. But wow, seriously, this show is so good. And I think one of the things that's really helped this season, because it was very much more slower paced, kind of emotional story I felt this season, but it was really helped that there was less breaks compared to previous seasons. Now, this season had some really good villains. I really enjoyed the character of Bruno Mannheim. They really made him more of a sympathetic, but also very sinister type of person, but he's really just trying to save his wife, Pia, who has cancer, and he's just trying to save her. So it's a very interesting thing to see this type of villain. I really do enjoy it because he's done so much good for the side of Metropolis, but he's really this kind of sinister villain. I really kind of like that. It reminds me, of course, of Lex Luthor, who's also in the season toward the end, and I absolutely enjoyed this Lex Luthor. It's a very different take. It's a very sinister and it's Lex Luthor. I'm really excited to see more of this Lex Luthor in the next season. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But yeah, this is a really good take of Lex Luthor. I really enjoyed it. And this Lex Luthor is the one that creates Doomsday to basically get revenge at Lois, because this can kill Superman. He's basically taking out the protectors of Lois Lane, Superman and General Lane. The reason he's getting revenge on Lois Lane is simply because he's blaming Lois for putting him behind bars for 17 years. Because, of course, it's discovered that Pia mocked his voice. So that was, he's out and he's ready for revenge. Now, Lois had her own storyline this season where she was battling cancer. Now, this hit really close to home for me, and I really think they handled it really well, and it was a very emotional storyline that was really hard for me to watch at times, but I really found it just really interesting to have a villain in a way that just Superman can't beat. And even if there's Kryptonian technology out there, you can't let that get out. So she has to battle it, and it really puts a lot throughout the season, and I really just felt it was really a great, impactful story for Lois Lane. Now, I don't have many negative things to say about this season, but I will say toward the end, when especially it got to Lex Luthor, I felt it was a little bit rushed, but I'm wondering if that was more because it felt like they wanted to get Lex Luthor and Doomsday just in case if they didn't get, renewed for another season. But it did make it just a little bit rushed to me. Of course, not all the side stories really worked for me, of course, with the Cushings and a few others. I really wish they used the Natalie and John a little bit more this season, but I thought they were pretty good. And I think they kind of wrapped up their characters a little bit. Because, of course, budget cuts, cast cuts. But this was another phenomenal season of Superman and Lois. I am so glad that we have this show. What did you guys think of Season 3? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.